I've only been gardening for 4 years, but there are definitely some things that I wish I'd learnt sooner in order to make life easier for myself. Hi, my name is Jackie and welcome back to my channel. I'm really glad that you're here. So today I wanted to talk about some lessons that I've learnt over the last 4 years that I have to keep reminding myself about every year or every season that I grow food in my garden. And I thought it might be worth sharing some of these things with you. So there's three main areas. So the first one is sometimes it's probably not your fault. Not all the time, but sometimes it may actually not be your fault. So plants die or things don't go to plan. And it might not be anything that you've done. It might be that it's just a sickly plant. And when you have a small garden and you only have a few plants, then it feels like you've done something wrong. But maybe it was just a plant that wasn't going to do any good. It also could have just been the microclimate that plant happened to be in didn't suit it. So that's the first thing. The plant world does not revolve around you. It may actually be nothing to do with you. The second thing that I wish I'd learnt was to check before I watered a plant. The conclusion I've come to is that I've probably overwatered quite a lot. I've also underwatered, but I think a lot of the time I have actually overwatered. So just because a plant looks droopy doesn't mean that it needs water, particularly not in my climate. It just gets hot. It's just a hot day. So even if the plant has enough water, it's still going to droop just to get its leaves out of the sun. So just because it's droopy doesn't mean a plant needs water. And just because one plant needs water doesn't mean that all your plants need water. So different plants have different requirements. And if I have found something that needed water, I've just watered everything. Yeah, I think that was a really valid lesson, is that just because one thing needs water doesn't mean your whole garden needs water. I definitely wish that I'd mastered the art of watering sooner. To be honest, I'm still learning. I'm still working it out as I go. But it's been a bit of a long journey to kind of get to this point. And the third thing that I wish I'd known sooner is that there absolutely is no correct way to garden. I think a lot of the time I've been scared to do a certain thing because I wasn't sure if it was right, and I'd Google and I'd get on YouTube, whereas I should have just done it and just seen whether it worked. It can be someone right next door to me can have a garden, but our soil could be different. The microclimate can be different. There can be a number of things that are really different. And so the way that they do things is probably different to the way I do things. Our lives are probably different. I might spend more time at home than they do, or I might spend less time at home than they do. And so the way that we do things will be different, and our expectations out of our garden will also be different. I go to garden shows and I listen to people speak, and there will be people there from similar climates and they will say completely different things. So their climate will be slightly different, and so they will do different things. The way they have learnt to garden will be different and so they will do different things. And definitely they will have microclimates. Their soil might be slightly different, things. There is just absolutely no correct way to garden. You just work out what works for you in the place that you live, for your life and for your family. And so you take inspiration from somebody else to have a go at something a bit different, but you may not do it in exactly the same way. I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned quite recently, is that I sometimes go out looking for correct answers and there simply are none. It's just what works for somebody else, and I can try that and see if it works for me. It may not. So today's video is quite short and sharp. I hope you got some value out of it. If you did, please do subscribe. It would mean a lot to me to see you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now.